New cars look smarter than ever. Big screens, turbo engines, endless driver assists. But here's the uncomfortable truth. More tech hasn't meant more reliability. Once that warranty ends, all that complexity can get expensive fast. And that's why so many independent mechanics still hunt for older Hondas and Acuras instead of buying new. Simple engineering, proven engines, transmissions that don't panic at 100,000 miles. Right now, a few of these models are still cheap and quietly bulletproof. Honda Accord? Drive through almost any North American suburb and you'll spot one without even trying. Usually silver, maybe dark blue, still running quietly after all these years. That reputation wasn't luck. From 2008 to 2012, Honda built the Accord before small turbo engines and complicated gearboxes took over. You had a 2.4-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder making around 190 horsepower, or a 3.5-liter V6 with roughly 270 horsepower. Both used a straightforward 5-speed automatic, and yes, a proper 5-speed manual was available if you wanted full control. Mechanics appreciate how predictable this platform is. The 4-cylinder with its timing chain is the long-distance runner. Maintain it correctly, and 300,000 miles is realistic. Real-world fuel economy averages 23 to 25 miles per gallon combined, touching 30 on the highway. The V6 adds serious punch. Smooth, strong, still quick today. But here's the buyer mistake: skipping transmission fluid history. If shifts feel harsh between second and third, budget accordingly. Fresh fluid every 30 to 40,000 miles keeps it healthy. While we're on real-world ownership, quick tip: even bulletproof cars get flat tires. Keep a compact tire repair kit and a portable air compressor in the trunk. Cheap insurance. I'll link the ones I recommend below. They've saved more than one Accord owner from waiting hours on the shoulder. Watch for suspension wear noises up front. Control arm bushings are common but affordable. Oil consumption isn't typical, yet neglected service intervals can create it. What rarely fails? Core engine components, basic electronics, heating and cooling systems. They age honestly. Market prices sit between $6,000 and $9,000 for clean 4-cylinder examples. V6 trims can stretch toward 11 depending on mileage. That's serious durability for the money. If you want simple, proven transportation without surprise repair bills, this generation delivers. Now imagine that same reliability, but with all-wheel drive practicality and crossover versatility. That's where things get interesting. Honda CR-V. Funny thing about the 2007 to 2012 CR-V, nobody brags about owning one. Yet they quietly outlast flashier SUVs by years. This generation runs Honda's 2.4-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, producing around 166 to 180 horsepower depending on year. It's paired with a 5-speed automatic and available all-wheel drive. No turbo, no dual clutch, no drama. Here's what matters. This K-Series engine is chain-driven and incredibly tolerant of mileage. Change oil on time, and it will routinely clear 250,000 miles. I've seen them at 300,000 still running original internals. Real-world fuel economy lands around 21 to 23 miles per gallon combined. Not hybrid numbers, but steady and predictable. And unlike many modern small SUVs, it doesn't demand premium fuel or complicated maintenance schedules. Now, known issue. Rear differential fluid on all-wheel drive models gets ignored. When it does, you'll hear a groaning or binding noise during tight turns. Simple fix if caught early. Expensive if neglected. So during inspection, do slow figure eights in a parking lot and listen carefully. If the seller looks nervous, you're learning something. Suspension components wear like any compact SUV, especially rear trailing arm bushings. Not catastrophic, just maintenance. What usually doesn't fail? Engine internals. Basic transmission units, if fluid changes were done consistently. Current market pricing sits between $5,000 and $8,000 for clean examples, sometimes less with higher mileage. That's cheaper than many subcompact crossovers with half the track record. Ideal buyer? Someone who wants winter confidence, decent cargo space, and an engine that doesn't scare mechanics. It's not exciting, it's dependable. But what if you want something with more punch and a little more premium attitude, without sacrificing long-term durability? That's where Acura steps in. Quick favor, my friend. If this is helping you shop smarter, tap like and subscribe. And drop your city in the comments so we can keep these price breakdowns real for your market. Acura RDX? Back when small luxury SUVs were just starting to take off, Acura did something bold. Instead of playing it safe, they dropped a turbocharged 2.3-liter 4-cylinder into the RDX and gave it real attitude. 240 horsepower, standard all-wheel drive, 5-speed automatic with paddle shifters. This wasn't trying to be soft. It actually felt quick, even by today's standards. Now, here's the interesting part. Turbo engines usually scare long-term buyers. More pressure, more heat, more potential failure points. But this particular K-Series turbo, when maintained properly, has proven far more durable than people expected. Regular oil changes are everything. Stretch those intervals, and you're asking for trouble. Keep them tight, and it rewards you. Real-world fuel economy sits around 19 to 21 miles per gallon combined. Not amazing, but you're trading some efficiency for performance and a solid drivetrain. Common issue? Turbo control solenoids and boost-related sensors can act up with age. Not catastrophic, but you want to scan for codes before buying. Also, check that the turbo spools smoothly without whining or hesitation. A rough idle under boost is your warning sign. Here's what surprises most buyers. The SHAWD system is extremely robust. Change rear differential fluid consistently, and it holds up well even in harsh winters. Interior materials also age better than many rivals from the same era. Market prices currently hover between $6,000 and $9,000 depending on mileage and condition. That's compact SUV money for something that originally competed with entry-level German crossovers. Ideal buyer? Someone who wants utility but refuses to drive something boring. You get reliability close to Honda levels with a little extra edge. But if you prefer your Acura without a turbo, and with a more traditional, naturally aspirated formula that mechanics trust almost blindly, the next one might be even smarter. Acura TSX. If you're the kind of buyer who wants something compact, sharp-looking, comfortable at highway speed, but refuses to deal with European repair bills, this is your car. Between 2011 and 2014, the TSX hit a sweet spot most people ignored. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't oversized. It was just engineered correctly. Under the hood sits a 2.4-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder pushing about 201 horsepower, paired to a 5-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual. No turbochargers. No direct injection carbon buildup headaches. Just a chain-driven K-Series engine that mechanics trust because they've seen it survive real abuse. Fuel economy in the real world? Around 22 to 24 miles per gallon combined. Respectable for a sport-oriented sedan that still feels planted at 80 miles per hour. Now let's talk ownership costs. Brakes and suspension components are reasonably priced. Insurance stays manageable. Where buyers slip up is ignoring maintenance records. This engine is durable, but it prefers clean oil. Skip changes, and you'll eventually hear timing chain noise or VTC actuator rattle on cold starts. Not common, but it's your early warning. What doesn't usually fail? The automatic transmission. The basic electrical systems. Climate controls hold up surprisingly well compared to rivals from BMW or Audi in the same era. Here's a market reality check. Clean examples are trading between $8,000 and $12,000 depending on mileage. That's strong value for something that still feels tight and modern inside. One subtle trade-off. Rear seat space is tighter than a midsize sedan. If you regularly carry adults in the back, you'll notice it. But for a commuter or small household, it's nearly ideal. And if you're thinking, okay, but I need 3 rows and serious V6 power, then the final model on this list shifts the conversation completely. Acura MDX? Picture this. A family needs 3 rows, real winter capability, and enough power to merge without planning it like a chess move. Budget? Under 10 grand. Most people panic and buy something European with a scary service history. Mechanics? They start looking for this generation MDX. 2007 to 2009 came with a 3.7-liter naturally aspirated V6, making about 300 horsepower, paired to a 5-speed automatic and Acura's SHAWD system. No turbochargers, no dual-clutch transmission experiments, just a big, smooth V6 that pulls confidently even today. Here's the engineering philosophy behind it. Overbuild the drivetrain, accept slightly higher fuel consumption, and prioritize longevity. Real-world combined fuel economy lands around 16 to 18 miles per gallon. Not cheap at the pump, but you're moving a substantial SUV with legitimate all-wheel drive hardware. Now let's flip it. What breaks? Motor mounts wear. Suspension components, especially front control arms, can get tired. And here's the big one, timing belt service. This engine uses a belt, not a chain. If it hasn't been replaced around 100,000 miles, budget for it immediately. Skip it, and you risk catastrophic damage. Smart buyers ask for documentation before negotiating. What usually holds up extremely well? The transmission, if fluid was changed consistently. The SHAWD system, when rear differential fluid isn't ignored. Interiors also age better than many competitors from the same era. Current market prices range between $6,000 and $10,000 depending on mileage and condition. That's compact crossover money for a 3-row luxury SUV with real power. Ideal buyer? A practical family that wants durability over trends. Someone who understands fuel economy isn't everything if the vehicle refuses to quit. And that's the theme here. While newer vehicles pile on complexity, these Hondas and Acuras quietly keep doing what they were built to do: start, run, and outlast expectations. If you value proven engineering over flashy tech, now is the moment to buy before the market fully catches on. 5 vehicles, 5 different personalities, one consistent theme: simple, proven engineering that mechanics still respect. The Accord handles daily commuting without draining your wallet. The CR-V gives you space, winter confidence, and durability that quietly stacks mileage. The RDX proves a turbo Acura can still be dependable if maintained correctly. The TSX delivers balanced performance with low long-term risk. The MDX offers real 3-row strength and V6 power without European-level repair anxiety. None of these rely on tiny stressed engines or overly complex transmissions. They were built before cost-cutting, and software started replacing mechanical strength. That's why they matter right now. In a market flooded with expensive crossovers and questionable long-term reliability, these Hondas and Acuras remain smart, calculated buys. If this helped you think differently about your next purchase, hit like, subscribe, and tell me what city you're watching from. And stay here, because understanding the used market is how you win long-term.